A lot of stuff has happened since y'all played your last game, a lot of off-season news. First one I just want to bring up is getting Danielle Gibson back here as an assistant coach. We talked kind of about uh talk about how that kind of unfolded, and how excited are you to have her back?
Well, I'm thrilled. First of all, I'm thrilled to have her back. Is not only one of the most decorated players to play here, but just one of the most brilliant young minds in our game. And I think that was really apparent when she was here, but just observing her and just having a lot of conversations with her while at Georgia and just seeing her continue to grow. And she's always been a student of the game, but she's always just thought it really differently and has a mature mind for the game. So when we knew we were going to get this additional coach, she was always on our minds as who we would want to reach out to and who we felt like would round out our staff really well, and add not just having the experience of being here and doing it at the highest level, just being really proud to be a Razorback, and just having another really strong mind in our coach's room and having an impact on our players. So it was a no-brainer. It was a long answer to say it was a no-brainer. I just can't wait for her to get here. She's currently killing it at Athletes Unlimited. So we will get her here full-time Monday afternoon, I believe. So,
And then I know fans were really excited to see that Rylan announced her comeback. I know it kind of happened simultaneously with her playing in Canada with Hannah Gamble and Nikki McGaffin. So I assume maybe there was a little bit of the itch came back there. Um, you know, how did that all
yeah,
happen?
I think it was a series of things. I think, when she decided to play on Dave King's team in Canada Cup, I think she was really enjoying it. And I think when just by being around it, I think she's just started to think, I may regret not using this last year. And I'm never one, if you know me, I'm not one to talk anybody into or out of anything. So I just always listen, and Hannah, I'm really close with Hannah. I think she's kind of like my daughter here, but she would FaceTime me daily, and she was staying with Rylan when she was in Canada. So we talk, and we were talking, and Rylan was there, and I was like, well, if you just want to pack up Rylan and bring her on back home with you, go ahead. And we kind of started it as kind of a joke, and just seeing if, that door wasn't completely shut, and it wasn't. She was having a lot of fun. And she just kind of said, let's talk at the end of this tournament. And I said, okay, when you're done and you're back home with your family. And she's really close to their family. That was one of the things. She's just like, oh, it's just so far. I'm like, it's a year, like you can do anything for a year, and there's a lot more regret to have not doing it than doing it. And so she ended up calling me before the tournament was even done, and we kind of talked through what it would look like and all of those things. And she said, okay, when I get home with my family, I'll decide for sure, even though, when I asked her to put a percentage on it, it was like 85% yes. So I felt pretty confident in that. And she got home and called me immediately after talking with her family. And I'm just so thrilled. I'm thrilled, obviously, whenever you get to add a first team All-American back on your team, it's pretty amazing. But who she is to our program, who she will be to this team in that locker room, is far beyond just the impact she'll make on the field. So I'm thrilled.
Dudley.
You also added another assistant coach with a pretty good last name there. Talk about that addition, and just excited to get him in the program.
Well, I'm really excited. Adding DJ Gasso to our staff. Obviously, he comes from a great tree and a great family with that last name, but he's quickly made a name for himself. And you could see the impact that he had at Utah. You could talk to colleagues, people that he coached against, people that he coached with, and he's everything that he appears to be. And then in the short amount of time here, you can if you know him, you immediately feel his energy and how great it is. But our players have really taken to him. He's absolutely dove in as we expected to. And so, I'm really excited. It's crazy because, you know, when I first met DJ, I was a GA at Oklahoma. And so I've known the Gasso family really, really well for my entire career, and to see him and JT grow in the sport, it's no surprise how great they are, obviously, with Patty as their mom, but they paved their own way, and they've done it, how, you know, in their own style. And so I'm really excited to add DJ. We get to start for real on Monday, and I can't wait, and our players are pumped, so it'll be great.
You also had the great freshman class already, but really knocked it out of the park with the transfer portals as well. Talk about what you were looking and what you were able to get out of that group.
Yeah, we had 4 huge freshmen. We got 4 out of the transfer portal, and we had Rylan back. So it was a huge summer for us with those 9 and DJ and Gib. And I mean, we bring back, I mean, we have a lot of punch. We have a lot of punch offensively. We have a very solid pitching staff. We really do feel like we have all the pieces and the depth and everything that we need. So I think we have 4 offensive players returning that have hit 18 or more home runs. I think that's the most in the country. So when they've had years like that, you know, you have that power piece. You have Reagan Johnson, who was a top 10 finalist for freshman of the year. You add Nia Carter, who was, you know, led the Big Ten in hits by 30. So we just feel like, on top of all the returners that we have, so we just feel like we have everything that we need. Absolutely. We're excited.
Thanks.
Eric?
Coach, good to talk to you again. When you reflected back on last year now, this summer, what comes to your mind, and especially for the returners going into this fall?
I think the big thing is it's a crazy sport because only one team ends how they want. And so when you get away from it, the emotion of your season ending, and you look back, like we did a lot of great things as a very young team. And so just that experience that we gained in how we competed, how we finished. I mean, I think we started 6 freshmen or sophomores. And so just the ability to put together a season like they did, I'm just really proud of them. And so when you take that moving forward, you have a ton of experience, but also a chip of it just not ending the way we wanted. And that's when our biggest growth has come, is when we've had an ending like that, and it's kind of fueled them to work harder and want more and dig in and compete and all those things. And so I know the vibe of this team already, just in the couple meetings that we've had. They're excited. We got out of the meeting. They all, you know, a good chunk of them walked straight in the indoor to work. I mean, this team's going to work. There's a lot of internal competition. And just this feeling of just coming back even stronger. So I'm excited.
There were some rule changes over the offseason. Certainly the pitch mechanics, more of an Olympic style now when it comes to the illegal pitch. Obstruction was adjusted, more video replay. There's a pitch clock now where you can go to 20 seconds instead of 25. What's your thoughts on all those changes, and does that impact you as far as fall preparation with your players at all?
Not too much. I think we're one of the teams that keep it moving anyway. We don't do a lot of timeouts. We get the ball, we play. We like a lot of that. I like the pitch count or the pitch clock. I've gone to a couple MLB games with a 5 and a 7-year-old. So anytime you can keep the game moving, it's a lot better. So seeing the impact that's had, I'm excited. When it comes to the pitching rules, I'm really interested and intrigued to see how that's implemented and applied. To be honest, I was kind of in the middle on whether I wanted it to happen or not. I think that when you now I understand it because like we have one that comes up a little bit because of ankle mobility. She's getting absolutely no advantage to it. And it's literally just a turn and she's not replanting. I think we're struggling to call the replant anyway. And now it's almost inviting that a little bit more. So I'm just really curious and intrigued to see how that plays out. But anyway, I'm a traditionalist. I think that, I mean, so anytime we like change things, I'll adjust. But I just think we have a really great game. And so I just, you know, I like to kind of hold on to some of those things that have made it so great. So we'll see how it plays out. It doesn't change a lot of what we do. I won't harp so much on, you know, that little inch of separation now that you like, I'm like on the ground. I won't have to lay on the ground quite as much. So I appreciate that in the training piece in the fall. So.
Dudley? Dudley, I think you're muted.
It was not a good question, but we'll try another one. Just talk to me a little bit about what fall is going to look like for y'all. I know y'all have had some games and, you know, even some tournaments before, and, you know, what you're trying to get accomplished this fall, especially with, I guess, the 8 new players and 2 new coaches.
Yeah, I think it's a new training style. So I think it's getting adjusted to ourselves and just kind of training and philosophies. So we have what do we have? 2.5, 3 weeks of individuals before we get into a team setting and team practice. We have 5 outside competition games scheduled as of right now, and 4 Razorback Unlimited double headers of inter squad that we take on somewhat loosely the structure and point system of Athletes Unlimited, only we add a little bit more defense and pitching and all that. So a good amount of competition, a good amount of just training, learning each other, and hopefully it's really productive. So we'll see.
Thanks.
Really looking forward to getting to work.
Ethan?
Yeah, you talked about how you and Hannah Gamble just really close. I'm sure that comes with 4 years of being a starter on the team. But you know, she got that opportunity to go play for the national team in Japan recently. I know you played in Japan after you graduated. I'm just curious, like, what were those conversations like, and how good was it to see? I know she's open about it that she didn't like the season that she had this past year, but to see her still, she made the national team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really proud of her. It's always been a dream of hers to wear the USA, wear the red, white, and blue. And so getting to see her compete in Japan with, you know, in that uniform and in that setting is it's just really, really cool. It's literally always been a dream of hers. What I enjoyed seeing even more this summer through the Canada Cup and her time in Japan is her just having fun, kind of settling in, seeing flashes of, you know, I just think more than anything, she just grinded this year and it happens. But she didn't give herself a break with that. And so I think we saw this summer of her just kind of like loosely go compete, have fun. And that's who Hannah Gamble is. And so I think in the Canada Cup, I think she hit 500 and had some crazy numbers. And we obviously know she's capable of that. So just kind of giving herself a little bit of a break mentally and just enjoying it and just playing her game. And it was fun getting to hear her perspective of Japan and the culture. It'd be no surprise to anyone that knows her that the Japanese players absolutely embraced her. You know, Hannah has no boundaries and no personal space. And so, you know, I would see pictures and everything of her hugging the Japanese players on their national team. And, you know, it's pretty cool. I think they took to her and it's really easy to see that they would take to her, but it was just a really great experience. And I know she's just ready to get to work, and it's hard to believe there's only one more year. And I think she's having a little bit of that. I can't believe this is my last year. But she's really set on making it great. So I'm excited.
follow-up to that, do you anticipate her being exclusively at third, or could you utilize her in different roles?
I think she'll exclusively be at third.
Okay. Can
Yeah.
Spencer play second?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a lot of options, but we have a lot of really great options. Spence is looking, I mean, we're gonna have to figure out where the pieces fit the best. But I don't see us taking Hannah off third.
Because the other thing, when Ryland comes back, as great as that is, you kind of have 3 for 2 between that first base and DP with Bree and Kylie. Is there one of those 3 that is better at playing another position other than first or DP?
We will try everything out on Monday and moving forward. Yeah, we've had conversations with them of just, getting work at other positions and just figuring out a way to put the best team out there. The great thing about this group is that they're team players. They want to win. They want to figure out, they'll do anything that they need to for the team. And so we have a lot of exciting days ahead of us of figuring out how to best put them out on the field and I don't know. We'll see. I have no thoughts on that yet. I know that I've done the math that you just threw at me. I have that question too. We have a few other names to throw in that mix too of where are they gonna fall and what's it gonna look like, and I don't know yet.
It could be like travel ball. You could bat 11 with 3 DPs. It might not be a bad way to do it.
Okay, yeah, but I don't understand even in travel ball I'm watching, and I'm like, you're in a national championship game and you're batting 10. It's like, I don't even understand it, why that would happen. Like, and I get you might have 10 great hitters, but your 10th hitter is still not your 1, 2, 3, or 4. So why are we taking longer to get to that? Anyway, I won't stay on my soapbox about that. That's all.
I like when you're on your soapbox. That's fun.
I don't know.
Eric.
I want to ask you follow up on Danielle. You talk about, obviously she's having a great summer at Athletes Unlimited, could win Athletes Unlimited by the end of this weekend. She's in the mix. How was that conversation when you had her about bringing her back, but she's still playing at a high level? And do you tell your players, to watch her? I got to imagine there's a benefit of that, of watching her play, even though you probably need her to do some coaching stuff, but her playing, I mean, that's got to make an impact for your players.
Yeah, I think it makes an impact on our players and our program. I think that, she's made a name for herself and she's a very recognizable face and player for Arkansas softball. But if you watch AU, and whether you're on our roster or you're just a fan of softball, she has made an impact on everybody playing there with how brilliant her mind is offensively. And not only that she can do it, but she can communicate it, she can teach it, she can coach it. And so I think it's huge for our players. It's huge for recruits. It's huge for all of that. She does have a tall order in catching Odyssey. She's had a tremendous summer, and it almost feels impossible to catch a hitting pitcher that's playing at the level that she is. But it's a system that's hard to win as a hitter. So that's how dynamic she's been this summer. And gosh, she's just playing so well. That's what's so crazy about softball is like, when you're looking and women hit their peak in their later 20s and you're seeing her playing at the level that she's playing. I hope we can figure out these opportunities and make them more solid. But yeah, it helps our program as a whole, that she continues to play at a high level, and I'm just really proud of her.
And you mentioned, obviously, you bring in DJ to the staff. Well, a year from now, the rest of the Gasso family will be in the conference alongside Texas. I'm curious, as a conference, have you finalized what the conference schedule will be like next year as far as how many games will be played? And I know it's a year out, but how much does that impact your non-conference schedule? Because I know sometimes you like to schedule a year in advance.
Yeah, we haven't changed the amount of games that we're going to play. The thing that was nice about our schedule before is that in a 3-year cycle, we could play everybody home, away, and bye. So it was a pretty clean cycle. We've had to work to figure out what's the best way to move forward to kind of maintain, where we're at as a conference and a lot of those intricacies that I so kindly was put on committees because of Matt Michael. So of just figuring out the math and what suits us the best, and had a lot of conversations with all our coaches and the SEC and everything. So we're going to keep our games the same, and then we're working through the rotation and what that looks like. It'll just take longer to get through that complete cycle. It's not quite as clean, but it'll work. I'm pretty sure we get Oklahoma in that first year, as I would expect. So we'll see, but it'll be good. It won't really affect what we do in our non-con. We're pretty picky about that anyway. That won't change.
Justin?
I got a couple for you, a couple things we haven't talked about so far today. Transfer wise, you Ellis, Carter, those are the big names because of what they've done offensively, but you also got you a couple of pitchers, and I know the bullpen's kind of your happy place to begin with. That group you have there, you've got the freshmen coming back with a year under their belts, you've got these transfers in. Tell me what your work in the bullpen is going to look like this fall, and kind of melding that group together, and what you want to get out of them in the fall.
Well, I'm really excited about this group. I think it's probably the most well-rounded staff that we've had. Now, we don't have that lockdown number one ace that we've had. Like, that's kind of been our MO with Shanice and Mary and Autumn. But last year, outside Shanice, we really just had, a very similar profile throughout our staff. And so what we've done is just kind of hit everything. We made it a lot more complete. And so I think you'll see a lot more matchups. I think you're going to see a lot more pairings. And that's the big thing that I want to see through the fall, is who matches up well together, who pairs well together, and that whole thing. So I'm excited. Adding Morgan and Reese is huge. Morgan's seasoned. She's pitched a lot of games. She's been their workhorse. Reese, I think, has a profile that most, kind of mirrors Shanice's. And so it's how dynamic can we make that? And so I'm just really excited to get to work with them. And then having the experience of our young ones, and having Callie and adding Casey in this freshman class. So I think we have a lot of tools that we can use together. So it'll be good. It'll be some work. It'll be different. I mean, it's exciting.
You have this new group between the freshmen and the transfers. It's a little bit of a different look than you used to see. A lot of new faces, which kind of you've had a couple of times before, but just between the combination of the transfers and the young ones, the melding in the locker room, in the team room, between the returners, the veterans, and then the newcomers, whether that be transfers or freshmen, is that something you kind of let the players handle themselves through the fall, to where by season you're good? Do you kind of steer them certain directions and then let it go? How does that work?
Our team does a really good job of getting everybody connected right away. So our returners do a good job of getting the freshmen under their wing and reaching out to the transfers and helping to make them feel as comfortable as they can right away. I think it always helps when we can get on the field. So I think Monday will be huge, because that's really ultimately their comfort zone, is getting out there and just getting to play with each other. And then we do a lot in the fall. We do a lot of community service. We do a lot of team events. We do stuff at my house. We do stuff at the other coaches' houses. So we do a lot away from the field that just helps us just get a lot more comfortable together.
And then last one, you had those freshmen last year who put in the work, whether it's the ones who were pitching or whether it's the Lauren Camensons who kind of, you break out a little bit at the plate. What do you want to see with that group coming back? You said you're going to hit the field Monday, starting individuals. What do you want to see from those freshmen now with the year under their belts? Is there anything specific, or do you just want to see them come in looking more seasoned and not maybe stars in their eyes like they probably were last year?
Yeah, I want them to look more seasoned. I want them to look more comfortable. I want them to make sure we're picking up off of what they did off the summer, which should have built off of what they did this last year. But I think a lot of times it's those first few weeks of just kind of, and a lot of the fall is like, do I belong here? Am I trying to prove myself, where they don't realize that they were already chosen, and they do. And so just kind of hopefully getting to be a lot more productive that this fall, and hopefully they can help the new group in. I do want to say too, I'm not really sure that I've even told you this, but with the pitching staff, John Barfeld's going to be consulting with us. So yeah, right. So I'm really, really excited to get his expertise and his perspective to work. So yeah, right. He's a wizard. So he's going to be coming and consulting with me to then, just add his expertise.
You got me with that one.
Yeah.
Do you have
Awesome.
any final questions for Coach Deifel?
I don't know how to follow that one, to be honest. That one got me. I'm good.
Okay, sweet. Thanks for your time, Coach Deifel.
Thanks.